I see something.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think
tell
so.
what it is.
Okay, it's like a bluish color.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. All right, that's just the beginning slide. Blind and visually impaired success in college. All right, those of you who are currently in the meeting right now, I know me, but those of you who are seeing this after the meeting, I know you guys don't know me. So my name's Alicia, and I have two YouTube channels, Blind One Lives and Blind One Vlogs. And I basically love educating people who are blind and who aren't blind about blindness and spreading awareness and helping my fellow blind people. Those of you who are sighted who do end up seeing this later on, thank you. Maybe you can use this to help others out. Um, this is, of course, for success in college. Now, the reason why I wanted to start this event is because I'm in college currently. I have a lot of things currently in college that I wish I knew before I started, that I want to make sure I prepare other people who are in college currently or who are going to start college so they don't have to go through the things that I went through. And believe me, it's a lot. Quick story time. Um, there were several things that I wasn't informed of, but on the day of my first in-person psychology exam, I was not informed that I needed to register and have an actual account into a system for the Access Center at my college. Now, the Access Center we'll get into later, but they basically provide test accommodations and different accommodations you need in college. Uh, I went to the campus, and apparently I was at the wrong campus because my college has several campuses. I was at the wrong campus. I wasn't registered. I wasn't informed that I needed to register, and it was just an anxious mess. Luckily, the lady at the Access Center was able to proctor me, and she was able to register me with the Access Center and make sure I had everything I need. But those of you may not be so lucky. So that one humongous experience made me want to help everyone out that I can because college can be a mess if you're not prepared for it and you're not ready. So, with that being said, this PowerPoint will cover a lot between financial aid, admissions, scholarship, vocational rehabilitation, assistive technology, things of that nature, and also some success tips because believe me, you're gonna need them. Let's get into admissions. Things to keep in mind. Requirements. Some colleges have different requirements when you apply. Whether that be if you're going to university, they request that you have an essay response in your application. Whether you have to have a certain GPA, you have to. It's important to keep in mind your intended audience because you don't going into it. It would be good to research if you find out what college you want to go to. It would be important to research what college your requirements are when you apply. Campbell, it's in my understanding that you are currently applying for college.
Yes, I am.
All right, that'd be good to know. Some universities actually do have different requirements, and some colleges have different requirements. So, like, my college didn't, but I know some colleges, especially if they're accredited, they really want you to send them an essay or some sort of writing. Maybe I have heard some colleges ask for quite a lot. So it's definitely important that you keep in mind what they're requiring. When to apply. A lot of colleges have deadlines for application, so it's definitely important to be proactive. I remember when I applied for my college, they had a very close deadline that I did not know about. I almost missed the cutoff. They almost weren't able to admit me. So be careful. All right, on to the next one, types of financial aid. Financial aid. This could be important if you don't have family support paying for your college. Different types of aid include scholarships, grants, and student loans. What is the difference? Uh, Scholarships are often provided by the state or an organization, or sometimes even your college. Some colleges have their own scholarship, so it's important to look into that because you may qualify and they do not need to be paid back. Um, Grants. Grants are directly from the government and they also do not need to be paid back. It's very important to keep in mind because those have deadlines too. Student loans. These can be from the government, from your school. I don't know why that's not listed on there. They didn't save, I guess. Or from a financial organization. They do need to be paid back. And unfortunately, some people are still in student debt due to student loan payback and the interest, and it's kind of a mess. However, I'm not going to say that it's not okay to need student loans, because if you do need a student loan and you don't apply for scholarships, as long as you're good on paying it back and you know exactly what you're going to do to pay it back, it's important to keep that in mind. Um, you should be okay. But a lot of people don't, sadly. A lot of people struggle with paying back their student debt because it is so high. So if you do apply for a student loan, keep that in mind. All right. All right. Applying for scholarships. Scholarships have, obviously they have deadlines, and some are even, I know Tennessee Promise has a deadline of, if you are going into college from high school, they have a deadline of towards the towards the end of the year. I think I had to apply for mine in like uh October, November. But it's still quite long away, so they can make sure that they get your application in, and they can make sure they have all of your info. All right, now the FAFSA. The FAFSA is basically Pell Grant, and Pell Grant is basically a government grant. A lot of scholarships require that you have already applied for the FAFSA before you apply to the scholarship. They want to make sure that you qualify for other grants before they check in and they give you the money. So it's important to know what scholarships require that and what scholarships don't. So if you are researching and you're wanting to apply for a certain scholarship, keep that in mind. Requirements. Some scholarships require different things. Some scholarships require that you have an essay when you apply. Some scholarships require volunteer hours or work experience. And volunteer hours, sometimes they want to make sure that you will give back to the community. and they want to make sure you're a right fit for the scholarship. So I know for sure Tennessee Promise, or the state of Tennessee, does have volunteer requirements. They require 8 hours after every semester. So Tennessee, if you're applying for Tennessee Promise, it's important to make sure you time those hours right. So it's literally basically semester volunteer, semester volunteer. After every semester, they require a volunteer hours submission. So, oh, oh no, I clicked out of it by accident. All right, I'm back. There we go. Um, where was I? Okay. All right. Another thing that could be helpful to know is vocational rehabilitation. What is vocational rehabilitation? Vocational rehabilitation is government provided. They basically provide any type of assistance, as far as guidance when you're in college. They provide employment placement after. They provide, excuse me, they provide payment for other things that Tennessee Promise or your state scholarship may not provide. Um, Transportation. They also provide assistive technology support. They can refer you to different companies that lend out or give you different assistive technologies to support your academics or you in employment. And mine specifically right now, I don't know how it is in other states. So if you are in another state, you might want to look into that. But transportation is also provided. I don't know if it depends on what state you're in, what they provide. So it might be a good idea to go to your state's.gov website, or search up vocational rehabilitation in your state, um, to make sure that they provide the right resources that you're going to need, because it could vary from state to state. I'm not sure. Um, I am collecting resources that you can sign up for on the event post. There is a link you can go to sign up for resources via email. So sign up for those resources, and I will be sure to email everyone. And it will contain a lot more information than this. It will contain a lot more information than this crash course thing provides. I'm going to be doing a lot of research. I've been doing a lot of research for a while. So if this does not cover something, your document you receive via email will. So on to the next one. All right, research your college. It's important to research your college, the college that you plan to attend, to make sure that you have all of your requirements in place. You also have uh, uh, it's important to make sure you have all of your requirements in place, see what they offer, see if they offer the program that you're looking for, if they offer your major. It's also important to make sure they don't have a specific GPA requirement, because some accredited universities do. It's also important to make sure, this is the big one, make sure your college is accessible. Because if they do not have accessibility offices, access centers, disability offices, things of that nature, and they are not good, it can be a problem for you as a visually impaired person. It can be a humongous problem. I know right now I'm not going to name the college because I might get in trouble for that, but there is currently a college that is basically sending you out on your own if you have virtual classes right now. So they're not helping people like us right now. And that's not the smartest idea. Is where there's a will, there's a way. There's got to be a way that you can help somebody. any way you can. There's got to be a remote way to help us out because we're going to have accessibility problems. We're going to have tech issues. We're going to run into these issues. And if we cannot get help, we cannot pass our classes. And if we cannot pass our classes, we cannot graduate. And if we cannot graduate, we cannot get the job we want. So, with that said, make sure you research your college. Also, it's a good idea to, if you're going to, look into what clubs they have, look into if you want to join a fraternity or a sorority, look at what they have access to, and if what they have access to interests you, definitely get involved. I'm not going to highly encourage that you get into a fraternity or sorority unless you want to, because sometimes fraternities and sororities are not for everybody. So keep that in mind as well. Clubs are definitely going to be where it's at. That's going to be people that people that have things in common with you, people that you can assure are interested in similar things that you're interested in. Um, extracurricular activities. This would be things like sports and other activities. Keep an if you want to go to a college that has these types of things, it's definitely important to look into that. So, reasons why you should research your college. All right, student success tips. Everybody wants these. This is the last one. All right, obviously, you should study. If you don't study, you're never going to retain anything. If you don't retain anything, you're never going to pass. And you need to pass to graduate. So, study, study, study. It's also a good idea to have maybe a study partner. Find other people in your class. They don't have to be your friend, but find other people in your class that you're able to study with, that you get along with enough to at least study and make sure you guys retain the information. Maybe have a study group online, maybe have a study group that hangs out after school and studies together. All right, another one. Let me make sure I can read that. All right, find a balance. Finding a balance between work and life and school and life and having fun is definitely important, because if you don't have your priorities straight, it can become a humongous problem. If you continue to party all night, or you continue to just goof off and you procrastinate and you don't get things together, you're never going to get anything done and you're not going to pass your classes. So it's definitely important to find a balance between your work life, your school life, your having fun, because if not, you're not going to get anything you're not going to get anything done, and you're not going to end up living productively. So that's definitely an important thing to do. All right, be social. Please go out and make friends. And if not make friends, make study buddies. Be social to some extent. That's where your clubs comes into play. That's where your extracurriculars come into play. That's where your having fun part of your life comes into play, because it is important to have some fun. If you are all work and no play, maybe that works out for you, but I know it doesn't work out for me. It ends up burning me out, and I don't want to do anything else afterwards. So it's definitely important. It goes back into finding that balance. Okay, back to being social. Making friends is a good idea because you can keep in touch with those colleagues after you graduate college. If you don't keep in touch with those colleagues, it's definitely good to have some sort of support while you're there. I don't know about you, but not knowing anybody in my classes and not knowing anybody in my school makes me kind of uncomfortable. So I'm glad I've at least made one or two friends along the way. All right. All right. Keep the syllabus. So every class, your professors are required to give you a syllabus. Your syllabus is important. I know in high school, you used to trash them away, you used to not care about them, but it's important in college. In college, your syllabus contains everything. And by everything, I mean everything related to the course. Your rubrics, your class schedule, your due dates, your assignments, your textbooks, your college's, your professor's contact info, the course assessments required, your grading scale. It contains everything. So if you don't keep it, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be lost. You're not gonna know what you're supposed to do. You're gonna be in a heap of trouble. So keep the syllabus. And the last one is not on here because I didn't come up with it, but like be productive and don't multitask. Because fun fact, it's in psychology. Look it up. Trust me, it's not it. I will have it in the resources, but it's not. Your brain is actually not very capable of multitasking and retaining information at the same time. So it's important to focus on one task, break up your tasks if need be. Um, there's a lot of things that help do that. That'll also be in the resources document that I send you. So there you go. Um, so just make sure you be proactive and you're proficient and keep due dates. Oh, another one. Keep due dates on your calendar. Keep due dates and assignments on your calendar because it will also help you make sure that you have your priorities in order. And again, if you don't have your priorities in order, you're going to be in trouble. So that is my quick college success crash course. If you guys have any questions, you can insert them now. Or ask them now. It doesn't bother me none if you don't have any questions, but there will be resources after if you sign up for them via the link that is on the event page. And if you don't know where that link is, let me know and I can post it again. It's just a little Google form. It just asks you for your name and your email, so I know who I'm sending it to. Um, so go ahead and ask this. Go ahead and either ask all of your questions or or wait for the resources document. It's up to you because the resources document could answer your questions. But go ahead and ask them. So if I know the questions, I can insert more information for you. So at this point, I'm gonna open the floor up to you guys for questions. Those who are in the group, those who are in the meeting, I'm gonna open up.
Is it okay if I just add two things to what you were saying? Everything is really good, by the way. I thought, especially because I'm having to do all this research and figure everything out as
Not a
I'm
problem.
applying to college. Yeah, so thank you. First, one thing that might be helpful if you're applying to multiple colleges is the Common App or the Coalition app, which are applications that you can use to apply to multiple colleges. Typically, they will have you put all of your demographic information and stuff in there, and you only have to do it once. And then you write your personal statement once, and then you do any supplemental essays for the other colleges individually. That can save you a whole lot of time. And then second,
Okay,
I'm glad
good. I didn't know about that. That's actually really good information. I can do some research and add that to your resources. If you will, can you message me about that so I
yes.
can add it to the research document and research that and give people more information?
Hmm. Yeah, I'll do
Thank you very
that.
much.
And then the only other thing I had to say was I'm glad you pointed out researching the college because I mean that's important for obvious reasons. There's one other reason it's important, and it's demonstrated interest. According to the things I've learned this semester, apparently, if you or colleges can track how much you've been on their website, and so if they see that you've been exploring their websites a whole lot, that can kind of increase your admissions chances a little bit if you're
Oh,
applying to like reach schools. So just thought I'd mention that.
I didn't know that either. All right, that's good. That's good. I can add that. I can add that. Cool, cool. Do I have your permission to add it to the resources?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right. Do you have any questions, comments, other comments, concerns?
I don't think so. Well, just that I'm glad you pointed out the difference between scholarships, grants, and student loans because it's nice to have that just really clearly laid out.
Yeah. Some people don't. Some people don't know, and that actually is a lot of reasons why people end up in debt because they don't know the difference.
Right.
They apply for a student loan and they think, oh, I don't have to pay this back, and then what do you know? They've accrued like $1 bajillion of interest, and they're like, oh God, what do I do? So some people don't know. Some people truly don't know, or they don't pay attention, or they don't look into it. So it's really important to know exactly what you're applying for before you apply because it can become a mess if you don't. Um, I know at least 5 people who have applied for a student loan thinking they don't have to pay it back, and then they end up having to pay it back. So they're like in a heap of trouble right now. So it's definitely good to keep an eye on that. It's definitely good to make sure you know what you're applying for and you know what you're in for and you know exactly what you're going to do. You have a plan A and a plan B. So yeah, I I don't want anyone to be in any trouble. So yeah, I definitely, yeah, I made sure I clearly laid it out because I know I myself don't want to end up in something that I don't know that I want to pay back, that I'd have to pay back.
Exactly.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in like $50,000 worth of debt.
Yeah. Agreed.
So yeah, that's important. It's really important. A lot of people don't understand how important it is, but it's really important. Really important. Any other questions or comments?
It's more of a comment than it is anything, but I don't know if you saw this in your research or not, but some mainstream universities have their own scholarships, football, video games, stuff
I
like
said
that,
something
that
about
can
that.
offer. I didn't catch that for some reason. Must have been the internet being weird.
Yeah, I said that.
Video game, yeah, video gaming also has become more of a thing. There's a few
That's
scholarships
quite
for that.
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah,
It really
yeah,
is.
video gaming's become more of a thing now. Some colleges, for those that have vision that can do it, some colleges are actually offering video game scholarships. I think they're doing like they have like their own tournaments and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, somebody told me about it like last year, and I was like, no way. But like, I forget. I have to like, if I find it again, I'll have to send you the link for it. But like, while you were sitting there talking about that, I had just remembered it, and I was like, oh dang.
All right,
So
that's insane. It really is. That is insane.
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's crazy.
All right, so if you're like an expert gamer, I'm pretty sure there's a video gaming scholarship depending on what university you go to, because I know that's a university thing and not a community college thing. That I do know, because it's very distinct. um, Sports. I guess it is important to know that different scholarships can also fit different demographics. Like people who are athletes and are involved in sports and involved in different extracurriculars can also get a scholarship off of their extracurricular. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. That was one thing that I failed to mention. Um, that will also be in the resources document. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that because I for some reason failed to mention it. Um, any other questions, comments, concerns?
I think I'm good.
All right. Uh, I will make sure I repost the Google Forms sign up link so I can make sure you guys have the right. I can make sure you get the resources. Uh, However, if you it's on the events directory, so if you're not able to get to it, I can post it again and make sure you can get to it. Even those who didn't purchase and sign up to the event can sign up for these resources because I'm going to open that to everybody. Because even if you didn't register for this event, I still think it's really important. I think it's really important to make sure you have these resources on hand. Just because you didn't pay for it doesn't mean you're not going to get some sort of information out of it. So the event was charitable. I might do this again to earn more for the charity in question. Dogs for the Blind. I definitely do want to support them all I can. I might run another event. I might do this again, maybe next week, the week after. I really want to make sure I raise at least a good amount for Guide Dogs for the Blind, and I'm not donating willy-nilly. You know what I mean? So if you do want the charity benefit or whatever, there will be other events to raise money for Guide Dogs for the Blind. I will be having other events. So be sure to like the Facebook page to make sure that you see those events, because if you don't, you're not going to get notified when I post those events. You might want to follow the page, like the page, anything you can do. Because if you don't, you're not going to get notified. You're not going to know about the events in the future. I'm thinking about making this event annual because there's going to be different people going into college every single year that are like us. There's going to be people who have different problems, people who have different interests that will want this information, and this information is valuable and it will grow with time, just like everything else does, just like you do. So I'm thinking about making this an annual event every year. So keep a heads up. Be sure you are following the page, liking the page, so you get notified about any events that are in the future. And thank you guys for attending. And if you didn't attend, thank you guys for watching. At this point, I'm going to stop the recording. Hopefully, you see these informations and you come back next year to attend and receive even more information, as it definitely does grow with time. Thank you very much.